sheriffs. We welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening, I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Susan Simon. Sarah is off tonight.
We have breaking news related to that hazmat incident we first brought you yesterday. A woman is accused of helping her boyfriend poison women in Middleton and Rock County who he may have dated.
41-year-old Andrea Whitaker is facing a charge of harboring and aiding a felon. Our Ellie La Liberté has been following this story and joins us now with what we've learned from the courtroom. Ellie?
Well, Susan and Eric, two people have been arrested in this incident, both Whitaker and Paul Van Duyn. Whitaker's cash bond is set at $750,000. Now, during Whitaker's initial appearance in court today, prosecutors alleged that she and Van Duyn were in a relationship, and this was an attempt to kill Van Duyn's ex-girlfriends.
It does appear that this defendant, Mr. Van Duyn, have started dating and apparently created this plot to kill his ex-girlfriends by poisoning them with cyanide, Valium, and other poisons.
We heard in the courtroom that in Middleton last month, a woman reported that she came out of a Costco and her car was broken into. Nothing was taken out, but a water bottle she had in the car tasted weird when she took a sip of it, so she spit it out. A couple of weeks later, the same thing happened and she called the police. The water tested positive for cyanide. At that time, law enforcement was able to connect it to Paul Van Duyn. Now, a similar situation also happened in Rock County. That woman was hospitalized for exposure to cyanide. She also filed a restraining order against Van Duyn.
So while it does appear that Mr. Van Duyn was perhaps the actual person who was entering both victims' vehicles and putting the cyanide in their water bottles, and at least in Rock County, putting cyanide powder in the air vents, I think this defendant's involvement is absolutely clear, and that she is likely the brains of the operation and actually figuring out how to do this.
Prosecutors also allege that it was Whitaker was searching up lethal doses of cyanide. This hazmat incident has led to investigations in 3 different locations: Whitaker's home on Schrader Road, Van Duyn's home on Spooner Street, and the Monday scene at Skyline Drive. We also heard in court today that 7 DCI agents have been hospitalized due to exposure to harmful chemicals. Van Duyn and Whitaker are expected to appear in court on Friday. Of course, we'll continue to follow this story both on air and online as we learn more.
Ellie, thank you. Stay up to date with the latest news with our Channel 3000 mobile app. With it, you'll get the latest breaking news and push alerts as news happens in the area. It's free to download. Just search Channel 3000 in your app store.
Well, we saw a lot of rain out there today, but the temperatures are the things we need to look out for as we head for the weekend. Alex Harrington here with the first warn forecast. Alex?
Yes, all of the above. Some of the rains have caused flash flooding conditions near the Clinton area where we have reports of water over roadways. Again, remember, turn around, don't drown. You should never cross roadways that are covered with water, and radar estimates over the last 6 hours pushing 5 inches near the town of Clinton. Going up the road on 43 to Darien and near the Delavan area also reports of flooded streets right now. This is the most concentrated area of heavy rain, stretching from the southeast part of Rock County going up into Walworth County. Another band stretching from Platteville right up through the Verona up to Madison, north and east up towards the Beaver Dam area, seeing about a ½ inch to inch of water. So it's pretty concentrated areas. Most areas saw rain, but some definitely saw more than others. Right now, those showers are really lining up east of U.S. Highway 151. Heaviest stuff just south of I-94 still right now in Walworth County, coming down at a decent pace right now, adding to flooding conditions in those areas. Future track bringing those showers and maybe a clap or two of thunder to an end by the time we get through to the late evening hours. But we do have more thunderstorm chances in the forecast Thursday going on into Friday. And as Eric said and alluded to, some dangerous heat is on the way Saturday and Sunday. Heat index values approaching 100. I'm going to show you just how hot those heat index values are going to be in your neighborhood in a few minutes.
All right, Alex, thank you. Track the forecast for yourself with our First Warn weather app. It has hourly planners, road conditions, and radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather.
A former vice president at the Goodman Community Center is pleading not guilty in court today. Dwayne Powell is accused of embezzling more than $600,000. to pay for gambling and other personal expenses. Powell, who had been with Goodman since April of 2010, allegedly embezzled funds between April of 2021 and June of last year. His next court appearance is August 11th.
2 people are cited after a driver crashed into some cows over the weekend in Grant County. Deputies determined an 18-year-old woman struck multiple cows while driving on Highway 61 near Tobin's 80 Lane in the town of Potosi Sunday. Officials cited the owner of the cows for livestock at large. Meanwhile, police say a Viroqua man contributed to the crash by passing multiple vehicles that had their hazard lights on while flashing his bright lights. He was cited for failure to dim headlights, unreasonable and imprudent speed, and unsafe passing. No word on the condition of the cows.
A man is in custody after Fitchburg police say he stole a vehicle last night. Officers were called to Egeman Road around 8 for a reported disturbance. They reportedly saw a man run from a home. Police chased after him to a fast food restaurant where the suspect stole a car that was left running in the parking lot. Officers later found the vehicle abandoned and then found the man, leading to another foot chase. With help from neighbors in the area, police found the man hiding in a boat that was parked behind a building. The suspect is currently in the Dane County Jail and facing several charges. In Washington, D.C., lawmakers are continuing to debate President Trump's tariff policies.
And some are looking at the impact they'll have right here in Wisconsin. Our political reporter Will Keneally joined Congressman Mark Pocan as he toured a small business in Evansville.
And I was like, nobody's buying that. I could do something with that.
So Abby Barnes bought an old doctor's office in downtown Evansville and turned it into a storefront.
We're not a tourist town. For us, it's what's in the downtown that brings people here.
But to anchor a store downtown, Barnes says that comes with tight margins. Even for a business owner here in Evansville who sources a lot of her stock from Wisconsin, these tariffs still have an impact.
I have several Wisconsin-based companies that I use, but I have nothing that's stateside for seasonal items. And seasonal items is at least 40% of my total income for the year.
The 15% tariff, she says, has to be passed on to her customers.
I absorb other costs with just, my physical location and then also shipping in freight charges. So, a tariff will just push us over the edge.
We've heard people who do very, large medical, scientific things that are being affected to local retailers in places like Evansville.
Congressman Mark Pocan was frustrated that Congress has been left out of that tariff process and says there's not a clear message coming from the Trump administration.
And, it's of concern because they're thrown out there indiscriminately, they're off again, on again, and the chaotic nature seems to be what's the most problematic for people.
Reporting in Evansville, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
The Juneteenth flag is now flying over the state capitol ahead of the holiday tomorrow. Earlier today, the flag was raised for the 6th year in a row in celebration of Juneteenth. Governor Evers was joined by members of the Wisconsin Legislative Black Caucus and other state leaders for the event. It will temporarily replace the Progress Pride flag through today at sunset, but will otherwise not disrupt other flags that regularly fly over the state capitol building. Coming up next on News 3 Now at 6, the new program Edgewood College is launching this fall.
Plus, a Milwaukee teacher's aide says goodbye to the country she's lived in for more than a decade. Why she is self-deporting with her 2 daughters. That's next.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Edgewood College is launching its nurse anesthesia program. This 3-year hybrid program looks to help meet the increasing demand for certified registered nurse anesthetists, especially in rural areas. The first classes are set to begin in August. Graduates will be eligible to sit for the national certification exam and qualify for licensure, licenses as a CRNA and advanced practice registered nurse.
A Milwaukee teacher's aide and mother of 2 is self-deporting back to El Salvador. Last week, the Department of Homeland Security sent Yesenia Ruano a notice that her temporary stay in the U.S. was now denied. Ruano has lived in the U.S. now for 14 years. She is currently waiting for her T visa, which protects victims of human trafficking, to be processed, a procedure that can take several years to complete. Homeland Security notice says despite her application and ongoing dialogue between both her lawyers and the agency, she must return to El Salvador immediately.
You're affecting more than just the people you're deporting. You're affecting communities. In her case, you're affecting all of the children that would have been loved by her and taught by her.
Ruano says she is hopeful she will one day be able to return to the United States with her two daughters. For now, they'll be staying with her mother in El Salvador.
Well, if you drive through Middleton, we have a heads up for your commute. From now until the end of the month, High Road will be closed to through traffic on weekdays. Crews will be out during the day working on the Pheasant Crossing Phase 1 project. Detour signs are up for northbound and southbound traffic, so plan for a few extra minutes and follow the marked routes around the closure. The road will reopen each evening for local access, and emergency vehicles will still be able to get through. Well, still ahead, how you can help pollinators this summer.
Plus, MJ the Musical now performing at Overture Center. We take a behind-the-scenes look at the iconic costumes from the show.
And some scorching hot temperatures are headed toward Madison this weekend. First 90s of the summer. Alex has the forecast after the break.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
The Overture Center is paying tribute to the King of Pop this week with MJ the Musical, and the center is giving us a backstage tour of the iconic costumes. Jordan Marcus stars as Michael Jackson in the musical, which centers around the making of the 1992 Dangerous World Tour. The show goes beyond the singular moves and signature sound of the star, offering a rare look at the creative mind and collaborative spirit that catapulted Michael Jackson into legendary status.
Everything was, he was so meticulous about the details of his choreography, of his music, and of his looks. And that's why I think it's so distinct. When you look at any of these jackets, you can pinpoint the time and the place and the music. It's such a genius move on Michael's part, and now we get to, honor him in that way. This one needs
MJ the Musical moonwalks through the Overture Center through Sunday, June 22nd. Tickets run between $50 and $217. You can find them online at overture.com.
You still have time to vote in Madison Magazine's Best of Madison. There are more than 150 categories on people, places, and things to do. You can only vote once in each category, but you don't have to live in Madison to vote. Voting is open until June 30th, and the winners will be announced in Madison Magazine's October edition. Well, this week the DNR is encouraging all of us to help support native pollinators. Bees, butterflies, moths, hummingbirds, even some beetles and flies help transfer pollen from flower to flower. The DNR has listed 4 things Wisconsinites can do to help pollinators: plant native plants and trees, and host plants for butterfly larvae like milkweed. Avoid trimming hollow-stemmed plants to provide shelter for pollinators, and avoid using pesticides and herbicides on your yard. Wisconsin is home to more than 400 native species of bees.
Well, they've been dodging the raindrops, especially the last 6 hours. Alex, some areas have really gotten soaked.
Absolutely. Some areas down towards Clinton, up 43 over towards the Delavan and the Darien area, picking up between 4 to 5 inches. Estimated rainfall, flash flood warnings continue in these areas. If you are driving down in these areas, if you're tuning in and planning on hitting the road, if you do experience any water over any roadways, turn around, don't drown. You never know if that water has washed out that road. As we zoom out and look at the rest of southern Wisconsin, last night at the 10 o'clock show, I made a comment that it looked like we'd see a southward shift in the overall storm system, and that verified here. U.S. Highway 151, another strip there of anywhere between a ½ inch to an inch, and then all that rain down near Janesville. But just a couple of areas over the Monroe area west of Janesville, they didn't get much of all with this weather system, but there's a lot more water in the forecast. Right now, still raining moderate in the Elkhorn area in Walworth County. As we zoom off to the west here, end of the rainfall just to the west part of Dane County, stretching down to Monroe, and that's going to sweep off towards the east. A couple showers still, maybe a rumble of thunder 8, 9 o'clock, and then that's all the way out of here. Then we turn our attention to Thursday, a warm and generally a sunny day. Can't rule out a couple of thunderstorms up towards central Wisconsin as we head into the Thursday evening hours and towards that midnight hour. Not expecting much in the way of severe weather on Thursday, an isolated chance. Little better chance on Friday as that warm, humid, hot stuff pushes towards the area. Complex of thunderstorms and some of our weather models sneaking into parts of the area. This could be over southwest Wisconsin, but this could really be anywhere in southern Wisconsin Friday morning on the leading edge of all the hot stuff. Windy conditions, hail, and we can't rule out some heavy rainfall from thunderstorms Thursday going into Friday. Then we turn the water off because then we turn on the thermostat here outside. Saturday and Sunday, heat index values above 100 degrees easily across the area. And I said I'd show you just how warm those heat index values are going to get. And in preparation for that, excessive heat watches issued to our west. Not going to be shocked to see those pressing off to the east. This is a glimpse of Saturday afternoon, right around 5 o'clock, 100 to 102 degree heat index values. Actual air temperatures in the lower 90s. We'll repeat that again on Sunday. And also of importance, too, don't forget the nighttime hours. Your body needs time to cool off. 74 for a low to wake up to Saturday morning, 76 Sunday morning, and 77 Monday morning, not giving you an opportunity to cool down at nighttime if you don't have the AC or a cool area to go during this dangerous time frame. So now's the time to plan ahead. Know where your cool spots are. Limit that time outside. If you don't have an AC, maybe go stay with a family member or make sure that you have a fan to try to stay cool and hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Monday's going to be another hot one, too. We may end up putting an alert day in there from Monday for our steamy conditions continuing. And then we turn our attention to what looks like a stationary front across much of the upper Midwest, including Wisconsin, bringing us daily shower and thunderstorm chances. We could be looking at quite some heavy rainfall in the upper Midwest, including southern Wisconsin next week, along with severe weather.
First day of summer is Friday.
Friday.
So right on cue.
Yeah.
Yep, right in the furnace.
I said yesterday, turn it on 200%.
Yeah, right, exactly. Thanks,
Alex, thank you. Zach, Sierra got some old former Packer news, right?
Yeah, and it didn't take long for him to find a spot, right? Coming up in sports, Jair Alexander is headed to the AFC North when his new team will play his old one. Find out next on News 3 Now. The Mallards and Nightmares are officially in season, and they have something no one else does in the Northwoods League. A brother and sister duo. Andrew Banster explains why this summer is the summer of the Morenos.
For Liam and Lucy Moreno,
I make him proud and he makes me proud, and it's just kind of a full circle moment that we get to see each other ball out.
playing ball at the duck pond is a family affair.
Growing up, me and my sister would come to these games thinking like they were professional games. I honestly didn't know they were college games until I started playing here.
Liam is in his 5th season playing for the Mallards.
I get a sense of pride when I'm watching Liam, like whenever he does good, and just supporting him in all of his endeavors and everything. I even worked here last summer.
But this summer, Lucy isn't just watching Liam play. She's living out her own dream, playing for the Madison Nightmares.
It's really a great opportunity. Me and my brother get to share the same field and get to play in the same season, you know, live in the same house at the same time.
These same kids that grew up at Warner Park are now the first siblings to play for both the Mallards and the Nightmares.
Honestly, it's an honor because Northwoods is one of the highest levels of baseball in the summer, and the fact that we get to be playing in the same spot, same level together, it's pretty cool.
They're calling it the Summer of Moreno.
It's pretty special. I'm gonna try to ball out the best I can, and he's probably gonna do the same and just, you know, have a great Moreno season.
But after all,
I look forward to continuing to watch her here because, like I said, I'm sure she'll come back, and hopefully I'll be in the stands rather than on the field next year.
It always was with these two on the diamond. In Madison, Andrew Banstra, News 3 Sports.
At the state baseball tournament, Reedsburg's season came to an end in the Division II semifinals. The trip to state was the Beavers' first since 2011. And 9 days after the Packers released Jair Alexander, the two-time Pro Bowler has found a new home. Alexander signed a one-year deal with the Ravens to team up with his old college teammate Lamar Jackson. Packers host the Ravens Week 17. I'm sure he has that game circled.
If he is healthy for it.
Yes.
We'll see. Coming up tonight at 10, a recall effort is underway in DeForest as more than 900 residents sign a petition to remove one village board member from their seat. Our Maddie Heimsch brings us what led to the recall effort and speaks with a board member about the claims there. Again, that story more tonight. News 3 Now at 10.
Let's get a final check on the weather. More rain tonight, you think?
More rain for, let's say Madison areas off to the east down towards Janesville, maybe another half inch at most, then turns scattered as we go later into the evening. There are a couple more storm chances Thursday and Friday. Then we turn all of our attention to the sizzle as we head into Saturday and Sunday. Heat index values well above 100. A lot of people interested in the dew point. It's a measure of moisture, the Muggy meter. I'm going to show that tonight at 10.
All right. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alex. And thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned next for Entertainment Tonight.
Enjoy your evening, everybody. You can catch us 24/7, always streaming on Channel 3000+. Hope to see you back here tonight at 10.